Devil's favorite advocate, Deuce loosely here. I just went upstairs to make me some food, and I noticed that my housemate was watching this week's episode of Raw, but he was also almost asleep on the couch, so poor guy. Anyway, this is a delayed reaction for Hell in a Cell this past Sunday night. I know I'm late. I'm sure everyone else has put their 2 cents in about it. So, whatever. I had these notes written out, as soon as the event was done. So, I'm going to make this really quick because I don't want to dwell on anything. Especially since, everyone else, like I said, has already put their opinions out there. So anyway, I'm going to put this in as much order as I can remember. I was 5-2 out of the 7 predictions that I did make. The 2 predictions that I did not make were for the squash match between Bo Dallas and Mark Henry. And, this was before Mark Henry turned heel again. I'll go into that in a bit. But Bo Dallas seems like he's on his way out. He just got hit in a squash match, the first of 2 that we saw already this week. So, it's probably way past time that WWE realized that his character has 0 depth and he needs to go back and work on his character. He needs to get some depth. He needs to get something going with his character because right now it just seems like an unfinished product. It's like they rolled him out too soon and they waited too long to take him off the line. So, anyway, that's one match I didn't predict. The 2 out of 3 falls match with Dolph Ziggler winning, I got that one correct, although I did not... No, wait a minute. I got that one wrong. I chose Cesaro to win that match. And the one thing that I wasn't looking for was for Ziggler to take that match in 2 falls. And that made me wonder, what was the point of having a 2 out of 3 falls match if that was going to happen? And why would you make Cesaro look weaker and not take at least 1 fall? I mean, what are you doing with this guy? He needs a title. This guy is made to carry a title. Why are you putting him on the middle shelf and leaving him there? And did he say something wrong? Did he make a bad tweet or something? Is he in the doghouse with somebody? What's going on? Get something going with Cesaro and do it quick, or else he's gonna fade into mid-card hell like so many other talents that WWE has wasted. The next match was the the Bellas match. Like I didn't predict that one because I didn't care. So I'm not even going to speak on that one, except to say that now we are subjected to being force-fed another month of Bellas, whether we want it or not. And they're doing exactly the opposite thing anybody wanted. No one cares about the Bellas. No one really cares about the Divas. Can we just get them off the camera? Can we just get rid of the Bellas already? They are terrible. They always will be terrible. No one's going to care. And, especially when you force feed them to us like you're going to be doing over the next month. The first Hell in a Cell match is irrelevant as that cell is, because let's face it, they can't keep anybody from getting in, they can't keep anybody from getting out, and that cage does no damage, does nothing except to create a spot like it did in the main event, and I'll mention that later. Of course Cena was going to win this match. It's a match against Lesnar. What do you expect? Of course Cena's going to get another shot at the title. And since Lesnar's appearances are limited, I don't care what anybody has to say. His his appearances are limited, and they're trying to be cautious about when and where they use Lesnar. And the backlash, the side effect of this is that it's losing interest in the main title hunt because no one cares about a champion that they never see. So WWE is doing the exact opposite of what they need to do with Lesnar, but since they can't get him on a regular schedule, this is what we're stuck with. We're stuck with a champion that makes an appearance every 2, maybe 3 pay-per-views, and from what I hear, he only has 1 pay-per-view appearance possibly this year. So look for a new champion look for a new champion by WrestleMania 31. It's a lock. Just count on it. And since Cena has gotten this chance to face Lesnar, you can pretty much look at him being the guy. And if just one more main event at WrestleMania with John Cena, I am going to scream. Anyway, the next match. Let's see, Sheamus. I got this one right too. Sheamus had to win this, but we really need Damien Sandow back. This Miz Dow thing has to go away. I'm sick of seeing Miz riding Sandow's coattails. Miz can't do anything compelling or significant on his own. He always needs somebody to ride. He always needs somebody to carry him, and Damien Sandow is doing just that. And the longer they keep him in this role, the more he loses his own identity, his own character. Sandow cannot do this forever, and he's going to lose himself and his relevance if they don't give him his character back. Give us Damien Sandow. Get rid of this Mizdow crap. It's stupid. I've never liked it. I never liked this mimicking garbage. It's old. It's done. It's stupid. Just stop already. But yeah, Sheamus won. Great. Can we move on from the Usos already? Please? Can we have this be the last time they face the Dust Brothers for the titles? Because you guys in WWE need to develop another tag team. I'm not just saying a new tag team, I'm saying another tag team. Because all you've got are the Dust Brothers and the Usos. That's it. And there's really nothing more to say about that. Just stop with the Usos already. The next match I also predicted correctly. Rusev won. He had to win, but where does he go from here? Who does he face from here? As far as I'm concerned, Cena is the only logical choice, but he's so far away from that picture that Rusev is likely to kind of waste away, kind of just coast along until something can be done. Because right now, I don't see anybody viable to take him on, anybody that makes any sense. So he's going to be sticking around for a while, but he's just going to be, lingering, doing background matches and squashes or whatever. But he's not going to be facing anybody significant anytime soon. So my speculation is Cena's going to be the next guy. Whenever they decide that that's going to happen. But anyway, after that, oh yeah, and Lana needs to go back to Florida. She needs to drop this Russian thing because she makes Yakov Smirnoff sound authentic. She talks too much. No one wants to hear her, and she's a heat vacuum. She's taking heat away from Rusev. She's always done this, and she's an unnecessary accessory. She needs to go back to Florida. Let's see. The the Divas match, the other Divas match, I should say. I got this one wrong. AJ won, but it was a pretty lame match, and the crowd was dead for it. Dead, dead, dead. It just seems like no one's interested in AJ. And this is a point I made before, because AJ doesn't talk anymore. AJ has been silent. They've been keeping the mic away from her, and that waters down her character. She used to have a compelling character. Now she's just somebody who's holding a title belt, and it's just not it's not an interesting title race, and AJ needs to be given the mic. She needs to be allowed to speak. She needs to be allowed to let her character go, to let her character loose, to remind people why she was once relevant. And Paige, as far as she's concerned, she's fairly interesting, but she doesn't have anyone around her to support her character. So Divas still got problems. Crowd still dead for them. Don't care. Didn't care. Probably won't until something drastic happens. Let's see. And the final match, the main event. Main event was pretty decent until, and there's a lot of people out there saying the same thing. The ending pretty much ruined it for everyone for several reasons. But that holy shit spot near the beginning was pretty decent, and the entire match was pretty brutal. And I gotta, I'm just like, wow, that was a really good match. But then, as soon as we thought Ambrose was going to gain closure, and we were all going to get the closure we wanted from Rollins versus Ambrose, lights go out, and the spooky soundtrack plays, and we get this very Undertaker-like thing going on in the middle of the ring, which one of FTW's hooligans spotted, like, almost immediately at the beginning of the broadcast. There was a dark spot in the middle of the ring, and now we knew why. That lantern, the smoke, the fog or whatever, that spooky spot at the very end where Bray Wyatt came into the cage and ruined everything. We didn't get closure from Rollins. We didn't get a legitimate end to this match. We now know that there's going to be a feud between Ambrose and Wyatt. I would have preferred a partnership, but this is WWE. We're talking about fans do not get what they want most of the time anyway. But a Wyatt Ambrose feud could be good. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'd like to see where this goes. Just the promos between those two alone are going to be stellar. So I got to say that those two are probably the only interesting thing going on in WWE right now. But again, another screw ending, and another way that the Cell has been rendered irrelevant. Cell has got to go. They should not have taken Elimination Chamber off of the schedule of pay-per-views. They should have taken Hell in a Cell out, because that cage doesn't keep anyone out. It doesn't keep anyone in. It doesn't do any real damage. I mean, if you saw during the Cena-Orton match, Cena was just pretty much taking Orton and bouncing him off the wall. He was bouncing him against the fence, literally, and they were trying to sell it as he was actually doing some damage to Orton. I mean, come on, really? Really? So, anyway, please, WWE, get your shit straight. Bring back Elimination Chamber and get rid of the Cell, because really, the Elimination Chamber was probably the best gimmick you had. Hell in a Cell is probably the lamest one you have. And for so many reasons, and it's time to let it go. So there it is. That's my recap. That's my rundown, and my 2 cents worth for Hell in a Cell 2014. It was a fairly decent event, fairly decent pay-per-view. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Otherwise, I am going to turn over here and finish my oatmeal.